Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's pick a card reading, we're going to be taking a look at your next soul connection, who's coming into your life next. Basically, my questions are, like in this reading, is like, who is this person? Help you kind of identify this person, even if you haven't met them yet. And then also kind of, what's the purpose of your connection? And I kind of like left it open as for like, what sort of messages want to come through. So also the question that I asked is kind of like what is important for your pile to know about your next soul connection. So kind of just whatever messages want to come out. Um, that's I guess important for you to know. Um, and I guess like what would be like the most helpful to hear about, as far as this new soul connection. And I wanted to leave this reading kind of open ended as far as like romantic connections or platonic connections. So either one could be a friendship or a romantic connection. And yeah, I guess it just kind of depends on what you're searching for. But yeah, so go ahead and choose whichever card you're most drawn to. There's 6 piles today. So we're going to get into it. And yeah, that's it from me. I'll see you in your reading. Okay, pile one, welcome to your reading. Let's see some information about your next soul connection. So your card you chose is number 20, the garden. So this card talks about like communities, events, gatherings. So I feel like your next soul connection, it could be that I was wondering like maybe this is the way you meet this person. Maybe it's at an event of some kind or in a certain community that you're involved in. I also kind of felt like, especially if you came to this pile and you're more seeking friendships, it could be that you kind of create a community like through friends. So maybe you create a friend group or you join into a friend group of some kind. Or, it could also be that you and this person might have a lot of mutual friends, and that's why you end up meeting this person is like through mutual friends. Um, I also was kind of thinking of online, although this feels a little bit more like physical. But let's see, we have boundaries, and we have journey, branch out into new worlds. Hmm. We have fog. Sorry, I had to pause the video real quick because a little bit of an interruption. But okay, so the fog energy, I mean, obviously, like, usually when there's fog, you can't see very clearly, right? This is a card about being kind of lost, not really knowing a direction that you want to go in, which is interesting since we do have journey here, branch out to new worlds. I think this tells me that this is kind of maybe what your person will be going through. Like they may feel lost in life and feeling like they need to go out on a new journey in life, explore new worlds. Um, and with the boundaries card, that could mean that this person has recently kind of walked away from certain things in their life, and that's maybe why they're feeling like a little bit lost at this time. We have Elixir of Life. Let's see, we also have Cancer energy here. So one thing about this person is they're a lot more sensitive than they may come across, especially with this Cancer card specifically. Um, since it does show like this crab guy on the card, a lot of the times, like, yeah, I think this person can have like a kind of rough exterior, tough exterior, but maybe might be quite sensitive on the inside and may not always show that. I think this is someone who does like to explore new things in life. Um, and I do think this is someone who likes to be supportive of people around them. I think that this person likes to support other people and be there for people in whatever way that they can. This person could have a very like sort of healing presence to them. We have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. Aries and Cancer are both cardinal zodiac signs, so perhaps, I mean, obviously we have Aries and Cancer here, but maybe cardinal signs are being highlighted, so maybe it's that this person is a cardinal sign, so the other two is Libra and Capricorn. So maybe they're, any one of those signs, or maybe have those signs in their chart somewhere. Um, I will say something about this person could be that when they are feeling sensitive, there can be a tendency to want to protect themselves. And maybe they can react and this kind of fits in with this sort of like tough exterior. Like maybe they would be someone who gets defensive or gets a little they may be a little bit quick to some anger. And maybe that's their like reaction to things. And it's to sort of protect their more soft and sensitive feelings that they're having. Um, hmm. Let's see. So your song that you got, I shuffled songs for each pile. We have pile one here with Say It Right, Nelly. And so I wrote down, this was basically what I wanted to tell me about the purpose of your connection with this person. So I wrote down some lyrics that I found interesting, and that says, say it right, say it all. You either got it or you don't. You either stand or you fall. So that energy or that lyrics, those lyrics made me think that this person could be kind of like very hot and cold or like go big or go home type of energy, where it's like they need to be fully satisfied with something, otherwise they are completely like, they may think it's not good. Which kind of I feel like fits in with this sort of journey and fog energy, where it's like this person may tend to walk away from things in their life because it didn't give them everything that they wanted. Um, And maybe this is a challenge for this person within relationships, because the next lyrics say, you don't mean nothing at all to me, but you got what it takes to set me free. Oh, you can mean everything to me. It's so back and forth. So actually it could be that this person does go back and forth a lot with things. Kind of like hot and cold or go big or go home type of energy, and they may switch between things quite a lot. Like, I want this, I don't want this. I'm just kidding. I do want this. Well, now it's upsetting me, so I don't want this. This person could make very emotional decisions, and then once those emotions sort of calm down, they kind of regret the actions that they took, or things that they've said. Um, Let me think about this a little more. Yes, with so the interesting thing here is like, yeah, you got what it takes to set me free. You could mean everything to me. With the elixir of life, I will say I do feel like this person will care about you a lot, although it does feel like their energy is not always responsible, especially when they are dealing with some heavy emotions. And so their energy could come across as, I'll be everything you want. I'll be such a healing presence for you. Um, I want to be supportive. I'm on board with things. Let's go. And then when they're feeling emotional and maybe upset emotionally, maybe because they didn't get what they wanted out of a person, which would be you, or a situation, then they would want to cut it off because they're feeling very emotional. And I think that this person can struggle with a bit of patience. Um, so I guess those are things to kind of look out for with this person, to be quite honest. Um, the thing to keep in mind is, again, this person does really care about you, because And maybe, as far as like your connection with this person is at times they act like they don't care about you, and it could be because they are feeling very upset about something. Like this person doesn't really know necessarily how to cope with their emotional reactions to things and maybe self-soothe in the moment. And they may, especially with like Aries, take very quick action once they're feeling emotional, and maybe it's very instinctual and they don't necessarily think about the consequences afterwards. And I think that kind of bites them in the ass a little bit, not gonna lie. Uh, so yeah, again, like the thing to kind of, although I wouldn't say, you're definitely in control of your connections. So, if this person doesn't sound like a great person to you, you can definitely put up boundaries with them. And honestly, I kind of feel like you might end up doing that since their energy comes up as, again, very emotional. And we don't get very emotional about people we're indifferent with and don't really care about too much. If we care about someone, we care about what they think of us or how they feel towards us. A lot of the times, like, we will get a lot more emotional than we're used to. So I will say it's like in a weird way, this person cares about you a lot, because they're so emotional about you and you can affect them very deeply. Um, and it's like they do want to be a good person and have, a good energy around people, but it seems like, yeah, this person can get like very thrown off by their emotions. And when they're upset about something, they may, um, that sort of hot and cold energy and take action and later regret those actions that they take. Um, no, okay. So I started this reading kind of like spur of the moment. So I'm a little bit unprepared. I intended to grab a tarot deck for some last few messages for this reading, and I don't have that deck with me. So let me go grab it for a second, and I will be right back. Okay, so I grabbed my deck and shuffled it a little bit. And while I was doing that, I did have a little bit of time to kind of look at these cards and see if there's a different way. Okay, for some of you, yeah, maybe you could resonate with this person, maybe being this very like hot and cold energy. I do feel like that does resonate. Um, Okay, and then okay, so there's like another sort of energy that I feel in this reading that's maybe not so negative, and I think it's that this is someone who has kind of had to protect themselves in life, had to put up boundaries in life and say no to certain things, certain people. And I feel like this could be someone who has recently, again, like walked away from something in their life, whether that's a relationship, maybe it's a community, maybe it's a job, or um, moved or something like that. Like, I feel like with this sort of like, you don't mean nothing at all to me, but you got what it takes to set me free. Oh, you could mean everything to me. I also kind of see this as like filtering out what's meaningful to them and what's not meaningful to them. Like, this person is looking for a sense of freedom, a sense of belonging, maybe, not to feel trapped or tied down by situations or circumstances. And so it's like with that fog energy, it's possible this person has recently walked away from something in their life and is now kind of trying to figure out what direction to go in with that journey card. They are trying to kind of branch out. And yeah, especially with that sort of cardinal energy with Aries and Cancer, it's like this is someone who is taking charge in their life, taking action towards something new in their life. And I think with the elixir of life, it's like they're trying to, that's about like a liquid medicine, right? So it's like they're trying to find what will heal them, what will set them free, what will be meaningful to them, and kind of trying to find that direction in life too. So it could be, as long as, or along with, this sort of beginning message of like, you might meet this person through a community of some kind or at an event of some kind. It could also be that once you like kind of join with this person, that you end up going to events with this person. And again, kind of like maybe forming a sort of friend group, or you'll have mutual friends, or maybe you even meet through mutual friends. Any of those could definitely be like the way you meet this person, or things that happen after you meet them. Um, And I think there is something here is like when they meet you, I think that there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of passion, a lot of this person would not hesitate to like take action towards you and take initiative, like initiate conversations, initiate going out with you, like invite you places. I think this is someone who will not, yeah, again, like hesitate to move towards you in some way, and they would be bold in kind of pursuing you, like a connection with you, regardless of whether it's like a friendship connection or romantic. Yeah, I feel like this person will be very passionate about you, very excited about you. They may feel like they've started to have a sense of direction once they've met you as well. And I do think that this is someone who will be sensitive towards you and really care about you a lot and kind of want to be a very supportive energy for you. Okay, so cool on that. Let's see. Some. We're just gonna pull some like 3 tarot cards and see like what other things you should know about this person or your connection with them. So for pile one, what do they need to know about this person or connection? Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles. That's a good energy. What does pile one need to know about this person and connection? The Chariot. Look at that. We got more Cancer energy. So yeah, definitely. And that fits very well with this person. You know, actually, you could meet this person while you're traveling. Because like there's a lot of sort of like with journey, like movement. The Chariot implies like some sort of movement and maybe like car ride. So yeah, I don't know if it's like there's like an event that you need to journey to drive to travel to in some way, and it's like this is where you end up meeting them. Or like maybe this is someone who's traveling, or just in general, it's like they're determined to kind of like find their path in life and find like where they fit in or where they want to be. Um, what does pile one need to know about this person and connection? What does pile one need to know? Now, there's another interesting thing with this sort of like message of being set free in the song. Kind of interesting that I got a very sort of, I guess, like more negative sort of energy coming through in the reading in the beginning. It could be that actually that this is someone who has dealt with those things, like in connections where they were very hot and cold, they were very emotional in their connections and cared very deeply but didn't really handle it well. It could be that this is someone who, yeah, dealt with that in the past, and maybe this sort of more positive energy that's coming in. Maybe it's for some of you, you're getting the more like immature version of this person who still has things to learn and needs to be kind of set free. And then for some of you, maybe it's that, you know, that kind of describes this person's past and they have set themselves free from those sorts of like behaviors through their connections. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So pile one. What do they need to know about this person in connection? Okay, we have the Three of Wands, which I think the Three of Wands is also kind of a little bit about like travel. Yeah, no, for real. Actually, this could be someone who does travel a lot. They go places. Maybe it's like, hmm. I don't know. It could be. This is like a specific message, so it's probably only for a few of you. But yeah, I feel like you resonate with. You go places, you go to events, you travel to events where there's lots of people there. There's like a gathering. Yeah, it could be that you meet this person there because they traveled to the same place. They wanted to go to the same event as you, and you met them there. With the Six of Pentacles, it's like an exchange, right? So it could actually be like you exchange numbers with them. You get their like contact, and then like the Three of Wands to me, I've always seen the card as like kind of either waiting for something to return from a journey or like returning, like um, yourself returning from a journey. So like I don't know, it could be that you or yeah, for some of you even it could be I was thinking online. For some of you, it could be that you meet this person online, you talk with them online, and then you actually meet up in person, like maybe at an event of some kind, and then you exchange number. Well, I would assume you already have each other's numbers in that scenario, but I would say the energy between you feels very like it flows and there's like an equal exchange between you two. There's like I would say mutual feelings and more so like mutual effort being put into the connection with this person. And yeah, if you resonate with going somewhere and meeting this person at that event, going back home, I do feel like there could be an energy of that. And I feel like at least with the Chariot here in the Six of Pentacles, they're saying that this person is determined to kind of continue to put effort into this connection with you. And maybe it could even be that they are, with this sort of like element of travel and returning, like maybe it's like if this person travels, they want to return to you, or they hope that you return to them after going on a certain journey or traveling somewhere or something like that. And there could be this energy of this person will wait for you in some way. So I hope that I hope that you enjoyed those messages. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing you in the next reading, and take care. Bye. Okay, pile two, welcome to your reading. So let's find out some information, like basically what you need to know about your next soul connection, like a significant, important soul connection in your life. So your first card you have is the mice. So what I was thinking with the mice is, so that's kind of about kind of loss, decay, worry. It could be that this person does have like a tendency to worry about things, feel kind of anxious, and also maybe tends to fall into like maybe more negative mindsets about things. So it might be that like your connection with this person could be relieving some of their fears or calming them down in some way, giving them reassurance. It could also be, I was thinking that for some of you, that could be kind of like a bit of a challenge in your connection with this person. That maybe if you do have a tendency to worry about connections, that it might be something that, this connection might make you worry a little bit. Maybe it's because you're very aware, very attentive. You notice a lot. It could be you, or it could be that person that you're going to be meeting next. That's kind of like that. Okay, we have sacred friendship. Yeah, okay, honestly, what I'm going to do, because how I have these cards set up when you're not looking, like off camera, um, the songs that I shuffled for each pile is kind of sitting on top of the pile, so I already knew about your song before starting your reading. So you have There She Goes by Sixpence None the Richer. And so the reason why I wanted to pull this song out early was because, okay, you got the sacred friendship. So the reason, so what I connect to this song, actually, when I think of this song, I think of a specific friend that I had. And I sent them this song, actually. And the reason why was because I felt like, I don't know, the vibes of the song did make me think of them for some reason. Um, and it not necessarily was I was like paying attention to the lyrics so much, but I do also feel like the lyrics do kind of fit for how I felt for that friend, which those lyrics would be, um, well, part of the lyrics, but the lyrics that I wrote down was There she goes again, racing through my brain, and I just can't contain this feeling that remains. For me, it was mostly the lyric, this feeling that remains, because this friend that I had, I always felt so excited to be around them, just like hype me up whenever I was around them. It was never any sort of negative feelings. To be honest with you, it wasn't a deep friendship that I could get maybe so close or so attached that they could affect me in any way, but it just felt very positive and very friendly. And I think we were just kind of always hyping each other up and very, like, you know, having fun in each other's presence. So, for a lot of you, maybe this next soul connection is a new friend. Um, and I was gonna say, like with this song before, looking into your reading, that this song does feel just a bit more romantic than maybe a friendship. So yeah, your connection with this person, maybe even if this is someone who, yeah, like this could be someone who starts off as a friend. This could be someone who like remains a friend. Um, but for those of you who maybe this person starts off as a friend and it turns into maybe a like deeper feelings or there's more there, then I would say it's just like a very positive connection. Like you see this person, you meet up with this person, you talk with this person, um, and like there's just a feeling that you can't contain, maybe an excitement, like sort of positive feelings that you have for this person, and maybe that feeling remains for a long time. So yeah, either like again, a very positive, maybe supportive friendship coming your way. The sacred friendship is a very like is a card about a very strong bond between two people. And we also have reconnect. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. Yeah, that's interesting because this friend that I'm thinking of specifically is, kind of like an older friend, someone that I haven't talked to for a while. So maybe for you guys, it's kind of the same thing. Like maybe this is an old friend that you're going to reconnect with, a person that you used to know, someone coming back into your life. We have Scorpion. So that's like actually kind of confirming that because the Scorpion does kind of talk about like death and rebirth, transformation. So yeah, it could be a certain connection in your life. Maybe it's like with the mice, it's like someone was worrying too much and it created a lot of pressure in the connection. Maybe someone was worrying about things that weren't even necessarily true, or just kind of like paranoid or sort of like what if thoughts, and maybe those things weren't like actually like real problems or something like that. Or maybe there were some kind of real problems with this person, but this sacred friendship card definitely says that this is a strong connection. So yeah, for pile 2, it seems like you might be reconnecting with someone from your past. With the Scorpion card, it does give me a little bit of Scorpio energy. We also have Destiny here. So it seems like, well, I guess maybe it's like destined in some way that you will reconnect with this person. I'm gonna move these cards around a little bit. I also feel like there could be an energy between you and this person that, like, what I was getting before is like very supportive, offering reassurance. It could be that you're someone who helps this person get past certain fears so that they can actually move towards, like, more towards their, what they would say is their destiny in life. Or perhaps that's their role for you. Like, if you have any sort of anxious thinking or fears that kind of set you back or hold you back from doing more, it could be that they're really wanting to encourage you to go after your destiny in life. This does feel very, like, friendly. Um, Not to say that if you're interested in more, that more can't happen, but it seems like a very strong friendship. And we have Earth, which also makes like kind of perfect sense. I always see this specific Earth card as very nurturing. She's like kind of caressing herself. So I do see it as like, yeah, it's like, I would assume maybe it's you is the one who is kind of encouraging this person more. But it could be either or. But I feel like there's like kind of a supportive energy towards like taking care of yourself. Not necessarily like so much of taking care of each other, although I do see that in this energy. But I feel like it's like wanting you to have confidence, or you wanting this person to have confidence, you wanting this person speak to themselves nicely, encourage themselves, like tell themselves positive affirmations and things like that, like really like nurture themselves. And I think you might also be a very nurturing presence for this person, and kind of vice versa too. And then we have expect powerful change, new moon eclipse, which goes perfectly with the Scorpion energy. Yeah, definitely. It could be that, if you're listening to this reading and you kind of know who this like reading is talking about, you wouldn't think that things could really change with this person. I wouldn't think it's like due to this person's stubbornness or something like that. It's more like maybe circumstances has pulled you apart from this person, and you might feel like there's not really like a high chance that this connection could really come back together. But it does feel like, if you do feel like that, there's a lot here saying that you could expect powerful change out of this connection or with this person. And maybe there's like a good opportunity to reconnect and work through maybe past issues that maybe led to you and this person like splitting apart at some point. So I hope that makes sense to you. And I'm going to pull some last few tarot cards to see what else you need to know about this person and their connection, or your connection with them. Um, Now, the other thing, and this kind of came in through pile one too a little bit, because I'm more so kind of reading these cards and telling you, like, maybe about your connection with this person rather than the person themselves. But with this like Scorpion energy and expect powerful change, yeah, it could be that this person did have a tendency to worry a lot in the past. And maybe it was like kind of a lack mindset, like a negative mindset that held them back, and kind of it was hard for them to go after what they want because of their sort of mindset that they had. It could be that if you can kind of think of who that might be, maybe it's they've done a lot of work on that, or they're not really dealing with the same sort of worries or anxieties that they had in the past. Or alternatively, if you do, again, know who this person is, and maybe you were the person who had a tendency to worry a lot in the connection, perhaps, and it might be a fear that, like, oh, if I get involved with them again, am I going to be worried all the time? I would say maybe there's a chance here that if you reconnect with this person, that those sorts of fears or worries that you had would transform in a very like powerful way, that you wouldn't even be dealing with those sorts of worries with this person anymore. So that's kind of cool. It does feel like with destiny and sacred friendship that this is definitely someone who's like very important, someone who's meant to be in your life for something. And so yeah, it's like maybe you kind of have no choice here. You're gonna have to reconnect with this person in order to create more of your destiny in life. Not necessarily, but maybe. I don't know. So yeah, let's get the last few messages for pile two. What do they need to know about this person, their next soul connection? We have Temperance, so some Sagittarius energy there. What does pile two need to know about this next soul connection? What does pile two need to know about their next soul connection? So with Temperance, well, it makes me think that, again, like if there were if there was a tendency to worry at all in this connection on either of your sides, I feel like the Temperance card is kind of coming out to say that the connection between you two will feel easy, it will flow. There may not be a whole lot of complications or problems. And I can definitely tell you with that song that you got, me and that friend, we never had an argument. We never argued. We never, at least I could say confidently, I never had any sort of problem with them or felt negatively at all towards them in any way. And it was a very nice connection, like a friendship connection, because they were never someone to pressure you to talk to them. And it's like you didn't get the sense that if you weren't necessarily there, that they were super bothered by it or like desperate for your company or something like that. And I really like friendships like that. It feels very free and like harmonious. So I do feel like those might not be issues for you. Like you may not have a lot of sort of negative feelings towards this person. They might have this energy of like patience with you and not rushing things and kind of just allowing you to approach them when you feel you want to. And it's just kind of like a nice, friendly, and like sort of reciprocating energy between you two. What does pile 2 need to know about their next soul connection? We have the King of Wands. So more fire energy. Maybe this person does have strong fire in their chart. So maybe like Aries. Sagittarius is definitely here. Maybe a bit of Leo. Yeah, so this could be someone who you have like a lot of fun with. There's a lot of passion in the connection with this person. I would say usually with the King of Wands, this is again not really someone who holds back. So perhaps like if this connection sounds familiar to you and there was ever a time where either you or the other person was holding back due to anxiety or fears, I feel like there's a lot of confidence coming into the future of your connection. Um, a lot of passion and I always get like a certain bold energy from either the King of Wands or the Queen of Wands. Like when they want something, they're gonna go for it. Not much really holds them back, and they're not really the type to like hesitate. So yeah, I feel like this person will be excited about you. They won't hesitate to approach you, to take action towards you, to spend time with you. Um, And again, like there was kind of a message coming through of like a supportive energy, encouraging the other to not let fear hold them back and just go forward and go after what they want and essentially their destiny. So I do feel like maybe sort of the purpose of this connection is to build someone's confidence so that they can do more with their life. So what else does Pile 2 need to know about this soul connection? Okay, and then we have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, actually, because the Eight of Cups also does kind of talk about walking away from certain things. It's kind of like a thing where it's like you might be emotionally attached to whatever that is, but you know in some way that, you have to walk away. You have to go on a new sort of adventure or journey. It can be, now I will be honest with you. This is a friend from the past, so it can, maybe for some of you, it's someone you're going to reconnect with. There's a possibility that maybe this connection, this friendship comes into your life and it's very important at the time. I built your confidence. It helps you feel more patient in life, feel more comfortable in your body, feel more comfortable where you're at in life. And there's like a certain sort of acceptance that you have with this person or from this person. It could be with the Eight of Cups that this isn't like necessarily a friendship that's going to last the rest of your life. Maybe they come in and they're very important in that time, and then once those sorts of like very spiritual ideas that we kind of have certain contracts in life and we're supposed to meet certain people to kind of trigger certain things in them, and then once that sort of mission is over, then maybe there's not much of a purpose in that connection at that time anymore. So maybe that's the kind of scenario for you, but yeah, I do feel like when you spend time with this person, um, it could be a lot of fun. There could be a sort of adventurous energy, a daring energy. I would assume maybe you would make each other laugh a lot. And the other message of the Eight of Cups could just be, and especially with sacred friendship, it's don't be too afraid of like me saying that maybe this connection doesn't last forever. That may not be true for a lot of you. It could be that this connection is very strong, and the Eight of Cups could just be saying that there's like, again, sort of an encouraging energy to go after the things you want. And maybe there's something where you or this person makes the other person aware that something wasn't working for them and that they might want to choose a new direction, and maybe they go on like like with you in that direction, if that makes sense. Like they're there supporting you in the changes that you make. Definitely with Scorpion energy and expect powerful change. It could be that this person comes in to help you make very powerful, intense changes in your life, and that could involve walking away from something. Perhaps there's something in your life that you do need to walk away from, and you won't necessarily see that until this person really comes in and shows you. It could be something like that. But yeah, that's basically the messages that I'm getting for you guys, pile 2. So I hope that makes sense, especially if, this is someone from your past and you kind of know who this reading is talking about. That'd be kind of cool. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Okay, pile 3, let's take a look at your cards and see what do you need to know about your next soul connection. So your first card you have is the birds. So you could talk with this person a lot. You have a lot of conversations. The birds do make me think of like maybe more like intellectual stimulation. So maybe you connect on your certain like ideas and thoughts about things. Maybe like you become really close with this person. The birds do kind of talk about gossip a little bit. Maybe you're gonna share some, I don't know, juicy gossip with this person. Okay, we have red flag. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hey, sorry about that. I thought the wind blew the door open, but I guess I'm just hearing things. Okay, let's see. So we got red flag. We have music. There's a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods if only we listen. So, okay. I don't know. I feel like this does feel like, well, initially I get friendship because I feel like we don't necessarily choose like love interest to go gossip with and stuff like that. And I'm definitely kind of paying attention to the meaning of gossip in the birds card because of the red flag card. So yeah, maybe it's that you might need to watch out for this person. Maybe they do end up, I don't know, gossiping about you. I always feel like if someone feels so free to gossip about others, um, like at any point you could be one of those people too, right? When you're not around. So we have grasshopper. Wow, and cut ties. Damn. Okay, pile 3. So I guess this probably comes as a warning. Maybe for some of you, you kind of like have already kind of met this person, and maybe the connection is still very new, so you don't really know too much about this person. Maybe you're very curious about them. Maybe they're popular in some way. Maybe you really enjoy the music that they listen to, or maybe they're always listening to music or talking about music. Um, it could be that this is someone who has a tendency to make very like quick and drastic decisions. Like with Grasshopper, it's kind of about taking a leap forward, and I don't think grasshoppers can walk, can they? They can only really leap. It's almost like this person doesn't know how to necessarily take small steps, or they can make very big, drastic decisions without maybe too much thought. And maybe that's part of why there's the red flag energy there and cut ties. Like maybe this could be someone who could easily cut ties with you as soon as they don't like what you say. You don't agree with their opinion on something. It could be something like that. Um, let's see what else. We have Sagittarius energy here. And we have your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. So you got some Taurus energy and some Sagittarius energy. I do feel like there's like an energy of this person. It does feel like this is someone who's unbothered by much. Maybe this is someone who is often involved in people's gossip and stuff like that, maybe hearing a lot about gossip about them. Maybe these are things that they like to pay attention to, other people's gossip, and maybe, they get like angry or riled up by other people's gossip about them. I will say, like, it never made sense to me why people who are involved in a lot of like drama or gossip or having enemies or something like that would pay so much close attention to those people in their lives. If you know it, if they, they don't like you, if you know that they don't have a very mature energy when it comes to those things, I would be careful with this person. This could be someone who, again, is like remains very unbothered on the surface of things, but they are always giving their attention to drama and gossip. And honestly, like, this person might love red flags in a person in some way. Like, ooh, it's entertaining, it's gossip, it's drama. What's gonna happen? Like, maybe they need that sort of stimulation in their life or something. They're drawn to that type of thing. Um, I would say that this is someone who is not really afraid to speak their mind either. Like, they wouldn't really care to necessarily say something rude to someone or hurt their feelings. Like, this is not a sensitive person, is what I'm saying. Um, and they could find these things very amusing for them. They enjoy it in some way. So I don't know. If you really like that type of thing, then maybe you'll get along with this person. I don't know. I don't feel like this sounds very nice in my opinion, but uh I don't know. Like with your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus, like it could be that this person is very focused on their goals in life. It does, again, I don't know. I don't feel like this is someone who's very sensitive or emotional. This might be someone that you have fun with, you gossip with, you get into drama with. You could potentially get into drama with this person because they seem friendly and then they're talking about you behind their back or behind your back. Um, With Sagittarius, this could be someone who is a bit spiritual in some way. Like they have their own beliefs in lives, their own philosophies in life. Maybe they do think deeply about certain things in life. They're not stupid, that's for sure, but they seem to give their attention to like red flags in people. It seems like they might be very drawn to that in some way, whether that's like a conscious thing or subconscious. Like, it's like they say negative attention is still attention. And sometimes people don't care if it's positive or negative attention if it's still attention. Um, so maybe this person feels like when someone's gossiping about them, they kind of like, they like it a little bit. Like, ooh, you're giving me attention, you're gossiping about me. I don't know, something like that. It could be. So yeah, it could be that this is someone who isn't always upfront with people, like what I was getting of like maybe this person could have a tendency to gossip about people behind their back. It could be that they're very like nice to people on the surface, and then I don't know. I feel like there could be something here with music where it ends up being something where this person communicates in, I guess, subtle ways or maybe like passive aggressive ways by like sharing a song that's about you or something like that. I don't know. It could be something like that. And for some of you, this could be like more like romantic, even. Because so your song is Mine by, I would say it's Bazzy. I would say. I hope that's how you pronounce it. But let me read to you some of the lyrics that I wrote down. So some of the lyrics say, had a little bit too much of Hennessy. Just got to tell you how I feel. So maybe But maybe that's part of the red flag. Who knows? Maybe this is someone who drinks a lot and maybe they tend to run their mouth when they're drinking. That's what it seems like, maybe more on the friendship level. But if this is more of like a romantic connection, maybe it's like they find the courage to speak up and tell you how they feel once they're drunk. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the lyrics is very positive. It says, "You so fucking precious when you smile. I'm so fucking happy you're alive, girl. Anything I can do just to make you feel right." Which now I would be careful, especially if this seems to be, if you're looking for romance, you're not really looking for friends right now. You might get involved with someone romantically who seems very nice on the surface, um, chats with you a lot, talks with you a lot. Maybe they share music with you. I don't know. But it seems like they can be kind of selfish in their energy, not really necessarily caring about other people or how they affect other people. Um, and for those of you who this will end up being more of a romantic connection, again, maybe there's a lot of flattery in the beginning of meeting this person, although there's not a lot of um it could be that this is someone who enjoys new things in life, like they're always kind of off going in a new direction and finding something new to bring their attention to. It's interesting that we have like how this ended up being laid out with Sagittarius and the grasshopper with this very like go energy and let's explore, let's do something new. What else is out there? And then with like cut ties, we have over here, your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus, which is like Sagittarius is a mutable energy and Taurus energy is fixed. So the fixed energy coming out with cut ties, maybe that's this person's tendency. Like they want to go out and explore something new, find something new and shiny to take their attention. And then once they're bored of that thing, or it's not giving them what they wanted, or something like that, then they decide to cut ties and go in a new direction. There's something here about maybe this person does this a lot, and that's kind of a pattern within them, and that's the red flag that you need to look out for. It seems like this reading's just kind of a warning for you for when this person comes in. And yeah, maybe if this is a romantic connection, and for those of you, if you're getting this warning early and then you find this person and you're like, no, thank you. Like, I see what that reading was talking about with this person, and maybe I don't want to get involved. It could be that if you do something like that, you see it a lot, especially if this is a guy that we're talking about, that when they get rejected by a girl, then they start calling her a bunch of names and being very rude and kind of disgusting. That could be this person. I could kind of see that here. Um, yeah, again, I think the message here is maybe just to watch out for this person when they come in. Again, they might seem very like smooth on the surface and very flattering, but then who knows, behind your back, maybe they have completely different thoughts and ideas or opinions or something. So I don't know. Let's get a few more cards. Like, what else about uh, your person? Let me shuffle this deck real quick. I forgot to do that. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to pause the video. It could be that before things go kind of sour in this connection, I don't know, there's another thing here. Like, I was kind of, and I skipped over this, which does make sense with the, if you end up rejecting this person, with that song that you got, it does, uh, the song is titled Mine. So, like, maybe this person does have a bit of, like, a um, possessiveness to them. And again, like if you end up rejecting them, like this feels like regardless of whether this was a romantic connection or a friendship connection, like the friendship version would be if you betrayed them by having a different opinion and not agreeing with them wholeheartedly, then, they may gossip about you behind their back and secretly don't like you. I don't know. Could be something like that. I would also, maybe this connection involves like a lot of gossip between you two of who else has red flags around you and who both of you need to cut ties with. Could be something like that. And yeah, like maybe it's this person helps you cut ties with certain people by giving you a more or a less like sensitive sort of viewpoint on things, and maybe a stronger sort of mentality. Like maybe this person comes in and is like, no, I wouldn't accept that sort of behavior. You should cut them out. So maybe if this is more of a friend, it's like you discuss red flags in other people with this person, um, and kind of like trying to find out like who's good and who's not. And then with this grasshopper and Sagittarius energy, it could be that there's like a sort of, this kind of came through in the last pile, but like an adventurous sort of energy, like let's go out, let's do things. Maybe, and especially with Sagittarius, it's like out of nowhere. Like maybe you're just hanging out on the couch and then randomly this person suggests to go out somewhere on a whim. It's very spontaneous sort of energy with this person. So that could be really fun, especially if this connection doesn't end up being like this person doesn't have a red flag, but maybe your connection involves a lot of like kind of deciding like, is that a red flag in someone else, and kind of, coming to this person and asking of their opinion of another person. It could also be like that. So maybe it's not so bad, and this isn't someone you necessarily have to worry about, especially because the song doesn't feel very negative. It does feel quite positive. So maybe your connection with this person is very positive. There's a certain loyalty with this person specifically, and it's kind of like you two against the world. Who else is bad or something like that? So let's see. What else does pile 3 need to know about their next soul connection? Pile 3 need to know. Okay. Yeah, okay, we have bond with the little wolf pack on it. So yeah, it's like you're gonna be in like a little pack with this person. Maybe you have more like friends with this person. Um, It does, okay, I don't know because it could be one or the other, like with these messages. Like it could be that this person does end up turning on you, especially if they feel like their friends need to support them 100% and never disagree with them or never, those types of people. They don't do well with like criticism whatsoever, even if it's constructive and it's like healthy or helpful. Like maybe they would feel very offended or something like that. But for others of you, maybe it's like you have a very strong connection with this person, a very strong bond. And again, it's kind of that energy of you two against the world. Who can we trust? Who's bad? Um, what does pile 3 need to know about this next soul connection? You guys also got the 8 of Cups. What does pile 3 need to know? Okay, we have the Moon. This does feel very mysterious. And pile 1 kind of got an energy in the beginning of their reading that didn't sound very nice. Like maybe, I don't know if a lot of people would really want to end up meeting that person. But an energy came through in the end that was not nearly as like, I guess, negative as what I was initially seeing in the cards. And I do kind of feel like there's a similar energy here, and I do feel like the moon specifically maybe comes out to say that you might not like be able to really fully know about this person or situation. um and perhaps like there's a reason you do meet this person, and kind of having some sort of like thing that you accomplish through meeting this person, or something that you realize with meeting this person. It could be that on the surface it seems you have a very strong connection with this person, but you really don't know, like deep down, what this person really thinks, what this person really does behind your back. Maybe there's a lot of questions as to who this person really is when you're not around. Or it could be, it just seems like maybe um, you might be confused as to whether you're getting the more negative aspect of this reading or not. Like, it could feel like, especially when you meet this person, or if you kind of already know who this person is, that, yeah, like, it's very flattering on the surface. The bond seems to be very strong on the surface, but maybe you do tend to kind of wonder, does this person really think this way, or is there something secretive about this person that I need to watch out for? And you might have those sorts of feelings when you meet this person. Maybe it's not completely clear to you in the beginning. um And again, I do kind of get this energy, especially if this does end up being more of a friendship, that this person does have like kind of a crew, like a group of friends, or like a posse or whatever. Um, and perhaps like it's very you're in or you're out, one or the other. And I don't know, it could be something like that. Maybe it's not so obvious and it's not so like intense, but like on a maybe more subtle level, like perhaps you say something that the group doesn't agree with or the group doesn't like, and then suddenly, like, you're not necessarily excluded from the group, but you're definitely being treated within the group, like treated differently within the group. Like maybe they're kind of being a little bit colder to you, or they like make like little comments or something like that that seem to be a little bit weird, or like not really kind. It's like they're trying to be rude in a very disguised sort of way. Like I could see things like that coming out here. And then also, like, if this was more of like a romantic connection for you, like it again seems very like nice on the surface. Like you have like a bond that's developing with this person, and this person's very focused on you and acting like, you're mine, or like I'm possessive of you, I really want you. But then, something happens with the moon and the Eight of Cups and they're gone and you don't know why. Like, it could be something like that. So I am here to maybe warn you about this connection. There's like a very slight possibility that this person is safe, and it's just kind of like a you two against the world type of thing, where you have a bond with this person and you have a safety with this person, and you're figuring out who around you do you need to worry about, something like that maybe. But that was a lot of different sort of messages and, I guess, scenarios. So hopefully one of those makes sense to you. And thank you for watching. Wishing you the best, pile 3, and that's it. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Okay, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So let's get some information and see, like, basically, what do you need to know about your next soul connection? Who is this? What's your connection with this person like? So you have the cross, and you have learn more about each other. Okay, so I feel like this could definitely be, I mean, pile 2 got sort of like a connection that's maybe resurfacing from the past. So yeah, this definitely feels like maybe it's a new connection, or someone that you're gonna have to kind of learn more about, because you don't know much about this person. The cross does kind of talk about spirituality. So for some of you, if you are looking for a friend, perhaps this is someone who's spiritual, and you can kind of talk to about spiritual topics with. And maybe there's like a sharing of certain ideas between like spiritual beliefs or spiritual ideas or something like that. As like along with maybe getting to know each other. So we have retreat. Spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. So what I kind of get is there's going to be maybe a certain comfort that you have with this person. Maybe that happens later on. Like when you first meet, maybe it's a lot of like getting to know each other. What do you think about this? And kind of asking each other questions. And I feel like to me, what I'm getting is that perhaps, and I was intending for this reading to be about important soul connection. So that doesn't necessarily have to mean that these connections are long lasting, but they serve a like an important sort of purpose in your life. And I feel like this one specifically, this feels like a longer connection, like someone who's meant to be in your life for a longer period of time. This definitely doesn't feel like you just met and they served a purpose, and once that's over with and done, then you're going your separate ways. This feels like someone who becomes kind of ingrained into your day to day life. With retreat, it does make me feel like this is someone you can retreat to. Like this is like your safe space in a person. It does make me think of certain connections in my life where it didn't really matter what happened throughout the day. It could be the worst day ever, and coming home and spending time with this person kind of relieves all of that. And then none of that feels like that mattered, or it's just kind of out of my head, and I'm having fun with this person, and I'm spending time with this person. So yeah, it does feel like this is someone who's like your retreat in some way. When you spend time with them, nothing else really bothers you, or nothing else really matters, maybe, which is kind of nice. So we have owl. I mean, that kind of fits with this sort of spiritual energy. Yeah, I definitely feel like you can definitely, at the very least, even if this person isn't spiritual themselves, this is going to be someone who spends enough time with you that, and I'm assuming that, people who watch tarot readings are spiritual on some level. So I'm kind of like calling you out here. But yeah, I feel like you would be able to share like a lot of your maybe spiritual beliefs with this person, your perspectives, what you notice in things. And I feel like with owl, and especially this like learn more about each other, um it could be both of you, but I definitely sense for you it's like you observe things deeply, you're very aware of things around you, and there you kind of like soak up knowledge from your surroundings. So I feel like you're going to really enjoy kind of telling this person what you think about things, again, your beliefs, what you notice about certain things. And it could be that this person really sees you as someone who's very wise, and knows a lot or sees a lot. It's like nothing goes unnoticed when it passes like your field of vision or something like that. Okay, we have divine guidance. Okay, that's strange. That's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. So much spiritual energy coming out here. I do feel like this is someone who matches you on that level. Like maybe for some of you, if you're looking for a friend that understands you on a spiritual level, it doesn't have to be a friend even. It could be, if you are looking for romance, that could be your next soul connection is someone who is spiritual. But it definitely feels like friendship like. So definitely don't get discouraged if you're not here necessarily for friends. Just kind of switch the word to fit your scenario. But I just feel like there's either this person matches you on a spiritual level and you can have a lot of talks about your beliefs and the certain guidance that you've been receiving, and kind of let each other know like about these things. And I think you'll really get to know this person on a spiritual level. Otherwise, like this could be a connection where even again, like if they're not very spiritual, that this is someone who's they care about you a lot. And even if they don't share that same interest, because they care about you, and I feel like this might be someone who does end up spending a lot of time with you. They're definitely going to be open to you and like what you feel or what you think when it comes to spirituality, especially if that's like a big part of who you are. It's something here saying like, I think it says a lot when we don't necessarily share the same interests with the people we care about, but we care about them enough to still kind of want to like hear about it or invest a little bit of time into their interests and things like that. So that's kind of, I feel like, what's coming through in these cards. It could also be that you, if you, like, I would assume, but yeah, if you consider yourself to be a very spiritual person, maybe you like to do tarot and stuff like that, or some form of divination. It could be that um, this person really looks to you for some sort of spiritual guidance in some way. Like, yeah, maybe this would be someone who comes to you with like a problem of some sort and be like, what would you do? Help me out. Something like that. So we have fire energy here. So I guess Leo, Aries, Sagittarius coming through. And then we have nothing will come of the situation. Hmm. Hmm. So partially, the card nothing will come of the situation. Oh, interesting. Oh, there's no card under there. Okay. Okay, so for some of you actually, I'm wondering with that card. So that card kind of has two meanings. It could literally mean nothing will come of this situation, like there's not really much more that can happen within the situation. So on some level, that is making me think that this next soul connection might be very distant, like with this sort of like owl energy, learn more about each other. Is a very spiritual energy and divine guidance. Maybe your next soul connection involves finding a new sort of tarot reader to watch or something, and you really enjoy their readings or their guidance, and maybe that's going to be something that's very important for you to hear and listen to. I could see something like that. And then the other part of that card, it could be like talking about worries. Like if you have a lot of worries about this person, well, nothing will come of that situation. There's not really much to worry about. You're safe. You're okay. So there's kind of two messages there. If you do end up becoming close with this person in some way, I do feel like there's not really much for you to worry about with this person. Otherwise, like maybe this is someone who's a kind of a guide for you in some way. Perhaps, maybe even for some of you, this is like depending on how spiritual you are, and maybe you kind of like to. I don't really do this too much, so I don't know too much about it. I haven't really been curious enough to look into it myself. But like when people really enjoy like knowing who's guiding them, like with if it's a certain ancestor of theirs or like a certain, I don't know, well, like a deity or something like that. Like so maybe it's something like that where you're not going to have much of a physical connection with them, but it's a very spiritual connection. Yeah, I definitely see that here. And it could be something where the connection with this person, especially if this is someone you do end up meeting and having a close relationship with, that this is someone who maybe inspires you a lot. And it could go either way. Maybe you inspire this person a lot. There could be a very creative energy and a wanting to explore certain passions in life, certain hobbies in life with this person. So yeah, things like that. And so your song that you got, I shuffled songs for all the piles in this reading. Yours is Heartaches by Shallow. So let me read to you some of the lyrics that I found interesting. It says, your love takes me higher than I've ever been before, but your heart aches in love, and I know it. I know it. So now here's the thing. This is going to sound a little weird, maybe, but I do feel like there's an energy here for some of you that the next soul connection that's important for you, again, kind of going along with this, maybe this is someone you look to for guidance. Maybe this is like an actual tarot reader, and maybe you can't necessarily connect on a personal level with this person, but you connect through what sort of guidance that they offer. It could be that this person shows you something about your relationships that maybe you deserve more, or maybe in some way you've been ignoring how much your heart aches in love, and they see it, they know it, they've been there, they've done that. So maybe they're able to kind of show you something new in regards to love, or, things to look out for, I guess, when it comes to love. Yeah, because I don't feel necessarily that this doesn't seem like someone who, this feels like a supportive energy, but maybe that they can be a little bit detached, maybe. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna pull some last few tarot cards. Another sort of message here could be that through meeting this person and maybe through expanding your awareness on something, that your passions kind of end up changing a little bit in life. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, let me pull some more tarot cards. Let's see, for pile 4, pile 4, what do they need to know about this next soul connection? Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands. Oh my gosh, okay. What does pile 4 need to know about their next soul connection? Now we have the King of Wands. That came out in one of the other piles. Can't remember at this point. But it came out in this exact spot too. What does pile 4 need to know about this next soul connection? Yeah, and there's a lot of fire energy coming out as I say that. We have the King of Swords too. So some air energy. That's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then with fire energy, I think I already listed that before, but Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Interesting. Okay. So one thing that I will say is that, like I said before, it's like this person is in some way like very caring and supportive, right? Like I feel like it could be that this is someone who does like kind of want to guide people in the right direction. This could be someone who does some sort of divination themselves. And maybe they're very focused on sort of like expanding their knowledge in that area. I feel like with the Ten of Wands, it could be that this is someone who does kind of like work themselves a lot, maybe to exhaustion, or they have like a lot of stamina, a lot of endurance to kind of do a lot throughout their day. So this could be someone who's very busy, someone who's always working. And I think that could be something here that's a bit of a challenge as far as like, um, again, I could see this being someone like that you look to for guidance, and maybe in some way you can't reach them on a personal level. So it's like you know this person to always kind of be working on whatever, I don't know, sort of spiritual practice that they're working on. I don't know. I think they basically that this just tells me that this is someone who, again, is very active, someone who's quite smart. We have another owl on the King of Swords card. So this is someone who also turns like their intelligence or their knowledge into wisdom. So this is someone who's very smart, someone who's very wise, someone who's confident, But I will say, like, maybe part of this, it's like their energy seems to be taken by their work often. It's like they need to devote their energy to some important cause in their life, and maybe that's what takes up a lot of their time and their energy. And maybe that's where this sort of nothing will come of this situation comes in. Either you can't physically reach them or like connect with them on a very personal level because they're behind a screen or something like that. Or it could be something where it's like this person is constantly working. So, and maybe you might have a tendency to worry about that in some way, that them devoting so much of their time to their work means that they don't care about you, or they don't have feelings for you, or they don't want to, you know, spend time with you or something like that. And maybe that's not necessarily true. It could be that the fact that wands and swords are coming up highlights their passion in life and their focus on their passion as well as focus on their mind in some way. So it could be that they're very independent. They don't need a lot of maybe conversation to feel good or to spend a lot of time with people to feel content. So it could be that this is someone who's kind of a loner in some way. Um, and again, there can be an energy. I'm not saying that this person doesn't care about you, but there can be a bit of a little bit of a distant energy coming from this person that you feel. It's not necessarily that they. I could see this person kind of balancing out spending time with you if you do end up like meeting this person and it's like a more personal relationship, that they do spend time with you and they do take action towards you, and you will see like through their actions that they do care about you and that they are dedicated to you in some way, but that they may also need a certain amount of time to themselves to kind of think about things, to kind of like have realizations about things or something. Or it's like their mind is very active, and so because of that, it's kind of taken. So yeah, I hope that makes sense to you. So thank you for watching, Pile 4, and I'll see you in the next reading. That's it. Bye. Okay, Pile 5, welcome to your reading. So we're gonna take a look at your cards and see like basically what you need to know about your next soul connection. Okay, so first card you have is the Rod. And you have, ooh, okay, we have romantic connection. So, okay. So, I want to go ahead and say this is more of a romantic connection than like a friendship. We did have a lot of like, I guess, friendship vibes coming out in a lot of the piles, but not necessarily that they have to be a friendship, but maybe it's more about friends than romantic connections. But yours is definitely a romantic connection. But the Rod here, now that kind of talks about arguments a little bit and sort of like repetition, like a certain pattern or something. It could be that your next soul connection is a romantic connection that you might have some sort of issues to work out with. Let's see what else. And then we have friends. Okay. Um, so the most unlikely friendships can form like variegated, I think that's what it says, lichens on hard rock. They create a tight bond. Okay, maybe this is, let me think. Could either be that this is a sort of starts off as a friendship connection that moves into a romantic connection, but I'm not necessarily thinking that just because of the Rod, and it makes me think maybe it's more like you start off very interested in this person romantically, and maybe it starts off as a romantic connection, but then things get heated, emotions are high, and there's some complications, and there might be arguments, and then it can be that you decide to be friends, maybe because of arguments or something like that. I could also see this being like I wouldn't assume many people are doing this, so maybe this is a specific message and it's more for like not all of you, maybe a few of you. If this would happen to be like a friends with benefits sort of connection, maybe it's that someone else wants more out of the connection, and that's part of where there's like maybe arguments coming up. But let's see, we have Gecko. Okay. So the Gecko card talks about it's kind of like an energy of hesitation, not knowing whether you want to get involved with something or not. So again, it could be something where, if this started out as a very like passionate and romantic connection and then there was a lot of arguments suddenly and that kind of broke things down and maybe you're like maybe we should be friends for now. I could see that being the scenario, and it's like this person or maybe it's you due to the sort of arguments, and maybe these are like arguments that didn't get solved, and it's like a reoccurring sort of issue in the connection. It could be that one of you is hesitant to get further involved because of those things. Hmm. It could also be that this is someone who is your friend and they are interested in you romantically, and they may be curious to pursue you romantically, but maybe they're hesitant because maybe if you have like a little bit of you're like a hothead or something like that, and maybe they've seen you argue with past romantic interests, or maybe they've seen you kind of blow up on someone or something like that. Maybe they're a little bit hesitant. I wouldn't think it's really that, but that could be kind of a scenario. We have passion. Wow, okay. Hmm. Really, what I feel most strongly here is there was a lot of passion between you two, or there may be a lot of passion between you two when you meet this person, and there's a strong romantic attraction between the both of you. But maybe, again, it does feel like maybe earlier on in the connection there could be some sort of complications. It doesn't have to necessarily be arguments, but maybe it's just a sort of issue that keeps resurfacing through your connection with this person. And it feels like in some way there's like restrictions in order to, or restrictions from moving this connection to a deeper level. Yeah, this could be a connection again that like started off very passionately. Something happened to bring it down to more of a friendship level. Like maybe this ends up being a mutual decision, or this person speaks up that they need to be more patient or take things slower. And maybe if they end up telling you, like, oh, okay, actually, I want to take things slowly in this connection, it could be due to some sort of fear that there could be arguments with you. And maybe that's something that they didn't like. It might be that you don't necessarily have an argument with this person, but maybe they get this sort of energy from you. And this could happen with very passionate connections that they've maybe hurt your feelings in some way, or they did something that disappoints you, and it could cause like a bit of a like sort of bitter energy between you two. And if that happens, and I could see that being something that does happen, it makes them kind of take a step back. That could also be your energy with this person, like something you end up doing. Interesting. Let's see, we have Virgo energy here, and we have you are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. We got a lot of Virgo energy. Hmm. Yeah, so with Virgo energy, there could be a tendency to kind of want to control things in the connection too much. Um, it does make me think that so far, okay, let me re-explain because I know I've already said this a few times, but I'm just trying to work through the messages and the kind of story that I'm getting here. What's like most likely to be true, I think, is that the connection starts off with a lot of passion, a lot of romantic attraction. Someone, and I think it's going to be this person, ends up doing something that does disappoint you, is what I feel. Now, it could be the other way around, but for some reason, I don't want to read it that way. So if it is reverse for you, just kind of reverse the message, if that makes sense. But it could be that, yeah, it starts off very passionate. There's a lot of attraction. Um, and maybe this person ends up disappointing you in some way, and that causes you to feel a little bitter, or it's something where you start to worry that this person has lost attraction for you, or that maybe you aren't good enough. And especially with Virgo energy coming out, there's a lot of like maybe feeling insecure that you're not perfect or something like that. And it could be that those feelings come up within you, and then you start feeling like, oh, I might lose this person. They might lose attraction for me. What if I'm not good enough for them? And what if they've, again, lost passion for me? And I could see that coming into the connection, and maybe this person feels a bit hesitant to move things forward in a romantic way, and kind of take things more lightly, and be friends at first, because they don't want to jump into things too quickly with you and end up hurting your feelings. I want to reassure you that it does seem like this person has a lot of like passion for you and attraction to you. But it could be that they might worry, they may be attracted to someone who's very confident in themselves, and maybe in the start of the connection they didn't give anything that would make you feel insecure, and you were feeling very confident, and maybe they end up doing something that shakes your confidence a little bit, makes you worry, and makes you feel a little bit insecure, or like they might not like you as much as you thought. So it's very important for you to kind of watch out for that, because especially when you are good enough comes out, uh, you should know that you're good enough. Don't sink into your insecurities, or really like look too deeply into things that this person does and think that that means they don't like you. I think the more confidence you have in this connection, and the more you know your worth in this connection, this person will also see that, and I think they would feel attracted to that, and it would make them less scared to get involved, because they know you're strong enough that they're not going to hurt your feelings by like on accident or something like that. Because it does feel like if there is a disappointment with this person, it wasn't intentional, it's not on purpose. And that's why they're hesitant, maybe because they didn't even intend to hurt your feelings or disappoint you or make you feel insecure in any way. And if they weren't intending to do that, and they just end up doing that anyways, then it could cause them to feel like maybe I shouldn't get involved because I might end up hurting this person unintentionally. So I hope you know where they're coming from if they do that. And that's not necessarily that they've lost passion or attraction to you, but they are concerned about like maybe your confidence in the connection or something like that. So the song that you got is Sad Machine by Porter Robinson. And let me read some of the lyrics to you. It says, "And though I know, since you've awakened her again, she depends on you. She'll go alone and never speak of this again. We depend on you. I can hear it in his voice in every call. This girl who slept 100 years has something after all." So that's interesting. It could be that, I do sense a bit of attachment wounds in this reading, and maybe you are working through some attachment wounds. Um, and maybe it could be, again, like it feels like this person will really affect you on an emotional level. And it could be that they could easily disappoint you unintentionally, and it could kind of shake your confidence. So it might be important for you to really work on your confidence and not take certain actions personally, and really analyze those things and be like, did they intend to hurt me by doing that, or were they just busy, or were they just focused on something else, or did they just not even intend to do that or make me feel that way? Um, for some of you, again, it does feel like maybe, from the start of this connection, like feels like it starts off very passionately, and then things kind of, there may be some sort of fights or arguments or complications. Someone feels insecure. Someone is wanting more out of the connection. Someone really depends on the other person to make them feel good and make them feel safe or reassured that they're actually attractive or something like that. Um, I will say it does feel like there's maybe a break where it's like, I want to take things slower and maybe we should start off as friends. Maybe we should kind of start over, but like instead of like rushing into romance, we kind of like restart as friends. And maybe something like that happens and then it makes you feel like, oh, okay, this person doesn't want to be with me. This person isn't attracted to me, or they want someone else, or I'm not the right fit for them. There's somewhere in this person's mind where they don't let go of you and they still are very curious about you, even if you do seem to have some sort of insecurities or attachment wounds. With this sort of lyric, I can hear it in his voice in every call. This girl who slept 100 years has something after all. So I want to say, like, if you do really work on your confidence, it could be that after a sort of moving the connection more on a friendship base, that this person does still consider you as a romantic option and is still kind of looking at you and thinking like, well, hopefully if things, smooth out between us, that I can kind of get back involved and we can kind of move this connection forward again. So I hope that makes sense, and I'm going to pull some last few tarot cards to get some additional messages about your connection with this person. So what does pile 5 need to know about this next soul connection? Okay, we have ingenuity. Let's see. What does pile 5 need to know about this next soul connection? Yeah, okay. There's something here where you're gonna really need to kind of detach from your emotions in this connection and really just look at things objectively, kind of look at things more logically, and really use your mind and really just have a lot of sort of mental conversations with yourself, especially if you do end up feeling a bit insecure in this connection and reading into things a little bit too deeply. Take a step back, kind of remove yourself from your emotions and from the situation a little bit and look at it from an outside sort of perspective. Um, and there's going to be a need to kind of really ask yourself if you kind of end up making things out to be something that it's not, and it's in a more negative way than it really is, if that makes sense. So what does pile 5 need to know about this next soul connection? Yeah, and it kind of implies that there could be a lot of sort of obstacles surrounding your connection with this person, and it's going to take a lot of conscious effort to remove certain blockages or remove certain obstacles between you and this person. It's not going to be necessarily easy, is what I'm saying. Let's pile 5 need to know about this soul connection. We have the Page of Cups. What does pile 5 need to know about this soul connection? Then we have the Tower. Okay. Yes, so this is this is gonna be one of those connections that really shows you maybe perhaps parts of yourself that you need to heal and work on. Like with the Page of Cups and this sort of like energy, like sometimes, well, a lot of the times I see the Page of Cups as like a bit of an innocent energy, and sometimes kind of looking to other people to approve of things or get their opinions to know if something's good or right. In some way, it's like there's like a level of self-doubt within you, maybe. and a level of insecurity, a level of like, I don't know the right thing or the right way, or not trusting your own judgment, I think, comes up here. And it could be that your insecurities do end up getting in the way of this connection being able to develop further, and it does end up bringing a sort of tower moment. And I'm sorry to bring that message, but if relationships are important to you, and if you do resonate with these messages, and you can see how maybe you have some insecurities you need to work through, you doubt yourself a lot, you don't always feel confident in yourself, or um, you rely on people a lot to tell you, how you should feel about something, or to confirm your thoughts or feelings or something like that. This could be a sort of connection that shows you those things very clearly. I would say, like, our the things we need to work on within ourselves becomes a lot more apparent when we're involved with someone we love, or someone we're very emotionally attached to. It can really show us a lot. Especially like certain wounds will be like kind of amplified in those connections. So it might be that this is one of those connections that really amplifies that and really shows you that. And it's kind of like very important for you to experience this as a way to heal that, and to be more confident in yourself, to feel like you are good enough and you don't necessarily need reassurance. You don't need it to like depend on anyone else to know your worth. Um, Trying to think of what else I want to say here, because I don't want to make people feel bad. But I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat messages either, and mislead people by giving them a story that I'm not really seeing. And I do kind of feel like I wanted to be very optimistic that if you really work on yourself and your insecurities and your confidence, that this person would be wanting to get involved, um, wanting to initiate things with you and pursue you in a more like obvious way. But it does feel like this is the connection that perhaps there's just a lot of work that needs to be done in those areas before a connection can really take off for you. Um, and it could be that your insecurities do end up getting in the way of this connection being able to develop further, and that might just be what ends up happening. And the sort of, I guess, purpose of this connection, although your song is Sad Machine, so it could be that you feel a bit numbed from this connection. You feel sad that things didn't work out the way you wanted it to, but take what you learned from it. There's always going to be value in our experiences if we take the value out of our experiences and learn something from it. And I think you're going to be learning a lot from this connection about your emotions, your maybe your confidence, your insecurities, and maybe those things are going to be really highlighted and shown to you. And it may be that this connection doesn't end up working out in the long run. And maybe that's why your song is kind of like Sad Machine. I'll kind of, what's the lyric? She'll go alone and never speak of this again. Um, so there is kind of an energy of this, this connection ends up remaining in the past in some way in the future. But I think it's really important for your growth. So I hope that kind of, I'm sorry, I know this reading probably doesn't come across very nice. So, but I hope it makes sense to you and you're kind of brave enough to look at these things and hopefully like to have a brave sort of energy to kind of look at this and take in these messages, it will really benefit you in future connections in the future. So it's not a waste of your time in any way. I think there's a lot of value in this connection, and it is kind of meant to show you things about yourself and teach you kind of a lot and maybe make you rely more on uh, logic rather than maybe your emotions at times, kind of be able to emotionally detach a little better and look at things more logically within your connections, which I do feel like will end up helping your future connections. So I'm going to end your reading there. Sorry, pile 5, that's, kind of your reading, but I'm here to be honest. And you'll get positive readings, you'll get negative readings. We all do. It happens, and they're all important for their own reason. So I hope that's not, the reading doesn't bum you out too much. But thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next reading. Bye. Alright, my last pile 6. Welcome to your reading. Now let's look at your cards and see what do you need to know about your next soul connection. So your card you have the bouquet. So this might be someone who you find to be very attractive. This might be someone who finds you to be very attractive, very beautiful. I mean, there's a few readings that seemed more like maybe friendship and romantic connection. Yours so far, I mean, with the bouquet, that definitely gives me more romantic vibes. So maybe this is someone who's a love interest of yours in the future. This could be someone who enjoys making you smile, like bringing you gifts, surprising you in some way. This might be someone who really wants to impress you. We have cut the cord. Okay, let's see. What wants to come out? What is this? We have dance. Allow yourself some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. You might end up, maybe you go to a dance with this person. So the cut the cord energy, don't feel too worried about that card, because the card talks more about cutting the cords of like your past traumas rather than like necessarily with a person. So I'm not thinking that, you need to cut the cord with this person, or maybe that's something that necessarily happens with this person, but I do feel like it might be important to sort of cut the cords with past traumas in order for this connection to just flourish like a little more or better. Yeah, this feels like very like romantic and like dating sort of energy, like bringing someone a bouquet, someone a gift, and taking them out to like prom or something like that. This sort of dance energy. Yeah, like maybe you end up meeting this person out somewhere and you dance with them. I don't know. Okay, wow. Pile 6. Pile 6. You have the Wisteria card. That fits so nicely with this energy. Like, this card to me is always kind of like an energy of commitment, maybe even marriage. This might be someone who literally wants to marry you, someone who is committed to you. Let's see. We have concealment. What's going on here? Let's see. We have Libra. So there's, wow, okay, more kind of like, I do definitely feel like we associate Libra with like the 7th house. That does also talk about like longevity within connections, like kind of like more like lifelong connections and partners and stuff like that, which like fits very well with the Wisteria card. So yeah, this definitely could be someone who wants to spend their life with you. With Libra energy too, they might again find you very attractive, very beautiful. They really like your features. And there does seem to be, Libra does talk about balance as well. So I do feel like this is someone who wants to treat you fairly. This feels like a very kind energy coming through for you. What is that concealment card about, though? Let's see. We have confidence is your key to success. Full new moon in Leo. I've said this in a previous reading, but do any of you have like certain zodiac signs that you kind of like, I guess the word would be like ship together? Like you just see those zodiac signs as a cute couple for some reason. For me, it's always been like Libra and Leo. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like you guys seem like a cute couple, something like that. Concealment and confidence is your key to success. It could be that for quite a bit of time, this person does kind of hide their feelings for you. Maybe they are kind of working on having the confidence to be more open with their feelings towards you. Uh, yeah, like with concealment and confidence is your key to success. It feels like this is what they're telling themselves. Like they're kind of hiding their feelings for you. They're a little bit nervous as to confessing their feelings and how you might react, and they're thinking like if you want this to happen, you need to have the confidence to go for it. And it's interesting too with concealment in Leo energy, since Leo seems to be very like eyes on me, I'm in the spotlight sort of energy. So it's like I do feel like this person, there might be a shyness at first, a little bit of nervousness, especially if they're unsure in the beginning of how you feel towards them, or a nervousness in confessing their feelings. It could be that they do think a lot about when this connection, like when they would be able to show off this connection. Like they might really in the beginning stages before your connection really develops further, maybe they're thinking a lot about like, oh, if I dated that person, if I was with that person, like I would just love to show them off to the world and say like, yes, this is my person. Look at them. Aren't they great? I really do feel like this person would kind of want to shower you with affection and compliments, like really tell you how much they find you to be attractive. This feels like it starts off as like a kind of secret admirer for some of you. And then I wonder if that's what the cut the cord energy is kind of talking about, because it feels like in some way, like on some level, you're kind of unaware of this. Or like maybe like you have a sense of someone like maybe having some sort of feelings for you, but they end up hiding it kind of well in the beginning. And it could be that, they're working through having more confidence so that they can maybe confess something to you. I think maybe that's where cut the cord comes out, where it's like maybe this person has had challenges in their either their childhood, maybe their parents didn't like necessarily like they didn't show the greatest example of what love could be, maybe something like that, or maybe their past relationships also caused a bit of trauma in their life. I don't feel like this seems to be such a intense energy that holds them back for long, but maybe it's like certain traumas in their life they're needing to kind of cut the cords from in order to like really have the confidence to move forward with you and like pursue you in some way. The song that you got is Goosebumps. It's the remix. HVME remix by Travis Scott. And the lyrics that I wrote down, it says, I get those goosebumps every time you come around. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. When I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong. So those are the lyrics that I took. For some of you, could be I mean, this definitely feels leaning more towards romance, but for those of you who this could end up being a friend that's just really loves you like again, finds you to be very beautiful as a person, that you deserve a lot. You deserve a lot of compliments. You deserve gifts. You deserve praise in some way. They enjoy having fun with you, dancing with you. They see you as someone who would be in their life for a long time. And yeah, it's like this energy does feel like with when I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong. Is in like this person might always be there supporting you, whatever you want to do, whatever you say, whatever you think. There's like a lot of love for you, is what it feels like, and yeah, it does feel like it kind of like coming through in another pile that I did. This energy of like I think it was pile four. They have this card retreat, and it makes me feel like someone you can retreat to, someone that when you're in their presence, nothing else really matters or nothing else really bothers you. And that makes me think of that because it says you ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. So yeah, I would say you ease this person's mind, you make them forget about any sort of trouble. Yeah, maybe that's with cut the cord. Like your presence literally helps them cut the cord from past pains, past traumas, or something like that. Um, And maybe it's even they feel like when they're around you that these problems are not significant anymore. They can almost ignore them or tuck them away and just feel like confident and feel like they can have fun in life. I really like this energy. It feels very positive. But let's get some last few messages for you and see like what else do you need to know about your next soul connection? What does pile 6 need to know about this person or connection? We have justice, so we have some more Libra energy coming out. Maybe they do have some strong Libra in their chart. Let's see. And again, there's this energy of like fairness, like a balance between you. So I would say it's like your feelings are very mutual with this person. It definitely seems that way. What does pile 6 need to know about their next soul connection? The other thing that I think of with this pile, this sort of like, and I think it comes through just a bit in, pile 4, and there was like another pile 2. I think it might have been pile 2, actually. Um, there's certain people that I think of and relate these sorts of energies and readings to. And something that popped into my mind is, and again, like, don't be, this definitely feels very romantic. It could also be a very strong friendship as well. Just very positive feelings between two people. And it makes me think of, certain coworkers I had, and especially like one that I had at my first job that I worked at. And it was like every time I came in and I saw that they were working, I was like, yes, like it's gonna be a good day. And it's kind of like that, like with this person, like when you see each other, both of you light up and you're like, yes, like today's gonna be a good day. Like I get to spend time with this person. It's always fun. It's always entertaining. Something like that. Um, so yeah, what does Pile 6 need to know about this next soul connection? Okay, we have the High Priestess. So I guess I think I've heard people associate that with Cancer energy. What does Pile 6 need to know about this next soul connection? I think the High Priestess does kind of imply that there's a very intuitive connection between you two. Like there could be, again, like I think I just normally think of friendships more often than like romantic relationships. That's just where my mind tends to be at. So again, like I'm gonna be thinking of this more platonically, but I want to reassure you this does feel very romantic as well. But yeah, like it makes me think of a friendship, or like I should just say connection, that you like really know what each other's thinking. Like they don't really have to say anything to you. Like maybe you can see in their reaction exactly what's going on through their mind. What does Pile 6 need to know about this connection? Oh, you know what? Okay. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, do I need to be understanding something right now about like how these cards are shuffling out? We got the High Priestess. You also have Concealment. And sometimes when cards take a long time to shuffle out, I think either like maybe this person's a little rigid, stiff, And maybe in your case, like with the high priestess and concealment, like maybe this is a very shy person at first. Like when you first meet them, they seem to be very quiet, very shy, very slow to open up. So maybe that's something that you might need to be aware of is like, don't be turned off that this person is a bit quiet at first or a bit shy at first. I feel like once you open up with this person, they're a lot of fun. And maybe you have a lot of ways you can connect with this person on a deep level. So what does pile 6 need to know about this person or soul connection? Okay. So we have the Four of Cups. I don't know. I think what I'm kind of getting here is kind of along with what I was just saying of like, I don't know, maybe, you come to this reading and you're thinking, I don't want to be with someone who's quiet and shy, or like maybe you think like that sounds boring. Or maybe there's like something here saying of like, don't judge this person too hard when you meet them, especially if they are quiet, or they do seem to be a little nervous or shy, or I think there might be a judgment on your part that this person's a little bit boring when you first meet them, especially if they are slow to open up. Or it could be that like this is someone in your current surroundings that you've seen, like what I'm thinking of is like a coworker. That coworker that I was thinking of that I loved to work with, right? It was always a really fun day when they were there. It could be that like, in that specific scenario with me, I'm pretty sure I didn't notice them at first. Like there was nothing about them that really stood out to me. It wasn't until I started talking with them that I was like, "Oh, hey, this person's cool." So this is not like someone that you see and they just stand out and you just have to get to know them. This might be someone who goes like kind of undetected for a while. You just share the same space, and then over time, kind of speaking with this person or being around this person, you're like, hey, actually, this person's pretty cool. This person's pretty fun. So I feel like there's something like that with this reading. And again, there's something here saying where it's like it's going to be a very sort of intuitive connection, a very mutual connection where both of you kind of feel very much like the same about each other. You're very excited to be in each other's presence, and it's going to be very fun. And it's like there's this balance of like with the Four of Cups and dance, like, and even Leo energy being very fun. It seems like, if you felt bored in life, if you felt uninspired, like not really enthusiastic about life, it could be that this person brings some of that to you. If you've been bored, like they're gonna come in, and then over time, as you meet this person, life's gonna feel a lot brighter, a lot more fun, a lot more exciting, something like that. So that's your message, Pile 6. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next reading. Bye.